Okay, Clint, this is Dennis Clark from Golf Pro to go over your lesson here. And some good things about your swing. You still got a lot of power and a lot of speed for your age, so that's really good news. You have some things that are kind of built into your golf swing here, which you've probably been doing for a very long time. And the way I approach these things is we don't change anything unless we have to. We don't try to change something unless we have to. I wouldn't be doing you a service if I just made your swing prettier. I simply want to make it better. And we'll have certain things that we live with and other things that we really can't more or less don't concern us, let's put it that way. So we're going to look at a couple things about your swing here. The number one thing I'd like to get you to do is to lift your chin up a little bit. Your chin being that down, kind of stuck in your chest like that, is restricting your turning motion. So lift the chin up. It'll bring your posture up a little bit. Your actual weight distribution here, that your balance is pretty good. So we're going to keep you on that regimen there. Now I got a little handheld camera here, so it's jumping around. I have to move these. Let me see. All that drawing in it didn't help anyway. So let me get this out of there, and here's about where you are when you took off. So over at my academy, I got a tripod and a still camera, so it kind of helps us watch the motion here. But we're going to take a close look. And there's the first habit that we want to get rid of. Okay. And watch your posture here. See where you went? Even if I move that camera a little bit with my hand, that's still really a lot of motion there. It's a lot of pulling off the golf ball. See that? It's very, very different. Now I'm not saying you are doing it that much. I'm gonna move that a little bit because this camera is not stationary. That's an unfair assessment. But I do want you to see that there's a lot of motion in your golf swing, and that's why I mentioned to you today that we've got to get another lever. The best thing for you to do, so even if that camera did move, you see how much you've come out of it and off of it. So you start too low, and at the top you've stood straight up and pulled way back here. In addition to that, you've got that club face wide open. You see Sergio's club face here? Club face is kind of looking up at the sky here. Yours is looking more or less down at the ground here. So that's what we were trying to do when we didn't want to get that rotation. Remember I mentioned to you about keeping the club face more looking down at the golf ball? You do this by hinging it properly. Right there. Now, it's not too bad there. It's a little bit open there, but when you lift it from there, Clint, now you really opened it. This club face here, you probably can't see it from your view, but that club face there is probably about a greenside bunker amount of open. So what that forces you to do is to swing out over the top, and you do a lot of arm swinging on the way down too. Okay, so there's two things really radically that we could do with this backswing without any more big changes or without any more nothing new, so to speak, is to keep you in your posture and hinge your wrist a little bit so we can keep that club square. It's a lot of motion, brother. See that lift there? That's the guy that's killing you. And it's opening the club face. The lift opens the club face, and it really makes you... Now on this one, for example, you dive back down, you throw your arms back down, and then you get it. But a lot of times it's going to go to the left. See this? This club face is like this right now. That's wide open. So what I'll start with you by doing would be to learn to keep in your posture. This is the biggest culprit of senior golfers. Now, you are still in very good condition, and it appears to me to be supple enough to be able to make a swing without losing your posture. And that's the key to really good golf. If you see, there's Luke Donald. I could bring up any one of these great players. You see his posture at the top, just like he started. Here's Matt Kuchar. If anything, they go down a little bit, but nobody who's playing for a living ever really comes up and loses their posture. Here's Justin Rose. Here's the top of his head. See how he stays right there? And that means he's able to maintain this body angle. So I think for a lot of senior golfers, they have to lift out of their posture, but I don't think you do. And you have to think about it logically. If you started there and then you went there, your chances of hitting that ball are real hit and miss. In golf, the ball's a stationary object unless you do that. Then it's kind of jumping all over the place. Now you got to dive back down and try to hit it or throw the club out there and try to hit that puppy, but it comes from outside. See how outside the ball it is here? Now you're going to pull it across the ball. And when you do hit it, you could kind of hit a nice little cut like that and play. But we'd like to get you as consistent and as much distance as we can. That's why we're trying to get you to hit from inside so we can have the draw. Remember, the club that returns to the ball, from in here is going to hit a draw. The club that comes from out here cutting across the ball is going to hit a big old weak fade. And even sometimes golfers don't realize they're hitting a fade. They just don't hit it very far. They'll say, well, how come my 8-iron's only going 120 or something like that? It's because the club face is open, and with a lot of loft on the golf club, you don't even notice that it's open. So that's what we'd like from that perspective, okay? And again, I got you here, and try to keep you in your space here, my friend. Okay, gotta move those again. Gotta get my tripod back. Because the only way we know is in relation to where you actually are, and that's why I'm pretty careful with the placement of this camera. There you go. Now this camera, now I'm holding it pretty still. It's not even moving at all, but look at that. That's a big old loss of posture. Now here's what would help you a lot in that sense. When you get the golf club back to here, right about there, what we call halfway back, your wrist really should start to hinge. This guy's from Ireland. You might have heard of him. Rory McIlroy. See him hinging those wrists? So to see the wrist fully hinged up here? That enables him to stay in his posture. The only way, if you don't hinge your wrist a little bit more at the top, not only would it give you more leverage, but it would also enable you to, the only way you're getting the club up to the top is by lifting your body up to the top. So he doesn't have to do that. He simply gets it back here, lets the shoulders turn and the wrist hinge, and stays right in his posture. Like that. So, we got to get some wrist hinge and get that club looking more up at the sky, keep you in your stance a little bit. I know we can do a lot for your consistency if we do this, because on this swing, take this swing right here, we'll go down here. Oops, go back to you. So you never really get back down. So it looks like this. There you are at your address, and there you are at impact with the ball. That's address, and that's when you're about to hit the ball. So you're pulling your body straight away. Now if I do your model comparison here, if great players, if they do anything, they go down to the ball. They don't ever come up. There's Rory at the address. There's Rory at the impact. Clint at the address. Clint at the impact. So we're really, and the reason you're doing it is because that you play with what I call a one-lever golf swing, meaning this. He's got the club at one lever now. Now he's going to make it two. Think of his arm. Excuse me. Think of his arm as one lever. Oh, Dennis Clark, get it out of there. Arm is one lever, and then there's a hinge, and there's the other lever, the golf club. Yours kind of stays as one here. So we're trying to get some more leverage in it for you, and which will help you stay on the ball. Won't automatically do it, but it'll certainly help you. So let's start with that, okay? And let's start with trying to keep you in your posture a little bit better. And then at some point down the road, I'd like to work on getting this heel off the ground so we can use a little more body work for you. But I've got to see his heel. There's a good, watch the hips, the rotation, the right heel up, the rotation. There's a good visual for you. But you can see your ball's long gone before that heel ever comes up. So, good news is, like I said, you're in great shape for your age. You've got a lot of strength and speed, and that's going to help you with your golf. But we've got to get rid of some of these fundamental flaws. I don't know if you're self-taught or haven't had instruction along the way, but these are kind of big fundamentals. Chin up, learn to stay in the posture. One of the good things we're going to try to do is those aim sticks that are, the aim sticks, the ones that are at every station right there. They're at each place. You can place one of those right behind your butt here. Just stick it in the ground. Put it like that, and just make some practice swings. Or at home, without a club in your hand, just put your butt against the wall a little bit and looks like my hands are going all over the place with this camera. That's my bad. So just try to keep it there, and then you'll see the difference. So that's going to be our initial assessment. We're going to play with a little stronger grip, chin up, and we're going to learn to stay in the posture and hinge the wrist as we make a. We really can't go to your downswing or your body follow through yet until we get you to stay in your posture a little bit more, making your hitting more consistent. All right, it was a pleasure meeting you and nice working with you. I'm going to send Pats now. Good luck, Clint.